Okay, hello everybody. I'm just going to give you a review on East West Quantum Leap Ministry of Rock 2. Nobody's sponsoring me, nobody's paying me, so I'm just an average guy that spent $400 on this product. Give you my honest view on it. So we're going to go ahead and open it up in a standalone function and I'll give you the good, the bad, and the ugly on this. And let's see, here we go. All right, so first off, one thing I would say is the good. The drums and the bass guitars are very good, especially for rock. So if that has a sound that you're looking for, it's perfect. It's very good. When we get to the guitars, then we start to have some issues. So it's not 100% up or 100% down, but it's a bit of a mixed bag. So it depends on what you're trying to do. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm adding, as you can see, 3 different articulations for the baritone heavy guitar. And we'll go ahead and put on the player. And as you can see, I have this on the mod wheel, so that's going to affect the articulations. And what we have here is, it looks like about 3.5 octaves of notes that we can play. And so we can play that with a mouse, obviously, and then we can play that with the... Alright, so this is a slide up. So it sounds good, but that's one articulation. So now we have to load in another one. This will be the pull off. And not bad. Now, one thing you need to notice right off the bat is that they don't do the architecture of this the same way as, say, electricity. So electricity figures out what a guitar can do and what it can't do. So for example, with a 6-string guitar, there's only 6 notes that we can play simultaneously. On the East-West engine, we can play 10 or 12 or 20 or whatever. That's not natural, and that won't sound natural. And in fact, some things that we do with the East-West are not going to sound very natural. Not very natural, obviously. But with electricity, they have a different architecture that automatically does that. So there's a strength with electricity that we don't have with East-West. So let's get back into, let's look at some of the rhythm. KS mod wheel. Let's go with this one right here. We'll go ahead and replace all. Now here's another interesting thing that you need to see. At this point, we're looking at 2 octaves down in here. And then we have about 1.5 octaves up here. And this is just, I don't know what this is. Not very useful. But there are some things we could probably do with that. But again, I wouldn't spend a lot of time on that. This isn't a bad sound, I guess. But not exactly my style, so it's kind of a limited style that it lends itself to. And then what's interesting is if we load some of the other heavy guitars, they seem to have a similar type of sound, so that if you're into that, if you need that type of sound, it's going to be perfect, obviously. But if you're not, and if you're just out of that little range, then it's yeah. There's a problem right there. So again, we can see that there's a limited range. So one of the things, and that's the thing about this product, they sample it after the fact. So they're sampling after they've mic'd it, they've amped it, they've effected it. So there's nothing that you can do to change that, or very little that you can do to change that. And then, so what they do is they give you a range of notes within these different sounds or whatever that work with that particular style. So they're not going to give you the whole guitar. And that sounds very fake. We can obviously do different articulations. We'll put in the player mode, we can see. Again, that's not too much useful to me, and I doubt that's going to be useful to a lot of people. One thing that's interesting about this product is it's almost like it was meant for that one guy, Ministria. I don't know, you can see his YouTube video. He's a very good musician, very solid. Don't really care for his music, but he's obviously a really talented guy. This style of sound works with him. It's going to work with some other people, but for me, not so much. So let's look at some other heavy guitars in the heavy guitar department. So then we have Les Paul on the rhythm, and we're going to play off. Let's mod that. Sorry about that. And I think what you're going to see is that, again, we have the same range here. This range is kind of limiting. Again, a very similar style of sound. So to me, it sounds like it's the same guitar player who has a preset preference for a certain type of sound. And that's going to work for some people. It's not going to work for other people. So let's go to the thing that I love the most about this thing. And that would be actually on the rock pop guitars. And this is where something like electricity can kind of shine to some degree, because it's modeled from the guitar up. So then you add the amp and you add the effect. This kind of works in the East-West model because this particular guitar hasn't been colored too much. So we can actually do a lot of different things with this. And as you can see, right off the bat, we have all these keys that are going. So we're looking at nearly 4 octaves, and they sound beautiful. And if I can get the harmonic going. I have it on the mod wheel right now, but if you have it on the key switch and you put it on the harmonics, they are just gorgeous. So this is a beautiful guitar. It's not too colored, and this is the saving grace to me, you know, with my preference and my style for the guitars in East-West, because with this instrument we can do all kinds of things with this. We can get a heavier amp, change the mics, and definitely put on some effects and all of that, so we can boost this big time. So we can get a heavy sound, or we get a clean sound, we can get harmonics, and there's just gorgeous things that can be done with this thing. So this is the limitation of East-West and the strength at the same time. So the limitation is that they sampled it after everything's done, and so you can't go in and take out an amp. you can't go in and change the EQ on the distortion. So when you're talking about electricity, you're building it from the ground up, and you can do all those things. Now, having said all that, though, East West provides some really cool drums and bass guitar, and also the ease of use is really good. Now, when we talk about ease of use, though, let's look at this delay right here. There are 3 knobs. Dude, 3 knobs? Sorry. That's nothing. I mean, let's just pull up freaking Logic. I don't have it loaded right now, but there's tons of delays that can do so much more than this. This is nothing. The reverbs sound good, though. I'll give you that. And they're easy to use. And then we have the attack, hold, decay, sustain, release, all that. So the ease of use is there. If the sound is really right there where you want it for distortion, then you're good to go. If you need some really badass drums and bass, especially rock sounding bass guitars and drums, then this is really going to fill the slot. Plus, it's going to give you this particular guitar, and to me the Telecaster is the Calvary. Beautiful sounding, absolutely. And you can just do all kinds of things with that. But and another thing though with the distortion, sometimes I'll pull up a distortion and there'll literally be 1 octave or less of notes that I can play with. Try making a song with that. So what we have then is, this is an instrument where we can detail things, and it's going to take you a lot of time to throw in a hammer on, throw in a slide up, or whatever. But you can get that detail in there. I don't think you're going to make a whole song doing that type of thing, unless you're using like the Telecaster, because it's more versatile, more musical. So, you know, there's the good and the bad. So it's not 100% good, it's not 100% bad. Is it worth $400? Hell no. But are any of them worth $400? Hell no. They're all overpriced. So if we look at them within the competition, then I would say this is great if you don't have the drums, you don't have the bass guitar, and this particular sound is what you're looking for. If not, then there may be some other alternatives out there like electricity or shredded or something like that. When you watch these reviews, obviously everybody that's doing these reviews are getting paid because they're not showing the limitations. For example, the amount of notes that we can use. In some of these things, let's see if I can pull one up real quick. You just don't have enough notes to do anything with. I mean, I don't know what the hell you're going to do with it. Yeah, let's pull up this. It's just random. Okay, there you have it. It's what, an octave. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. I guess I can punch something in. You know, we can get detailed on it, but a lot of time involved with that. So some of the hype on this is definitely unwarranted, but it's not a worthless product at all. There's some beautiful sounding stuff on it. For me personally, the Telecaster rings true in the drums, and the bass guitar are fantastic. So that's about it. Thanks.